So I came across this Instagram post, as someone does when you're on Instagram, and it was a screenshot from an article of a fashion stylist selling counterfeit bags. And I got really interested because I just love this whole era we are in with like counterfeit bags, especially knowing how these designer brands are not necessarily worth the price that they sell the bags in. And we have seen it with the Your bag of, I think it was $50 or something for that very like well-known hype bag that I never really liked from the beginning, but people have been spending thousands on that bag, and then it came out that it cost them only $50 to make that bag. So this whole thing of buying designer bags thinking that you're gonna get top quality has all been debunked. So I really like this era of people just buying comfort bags because they want the bag, they like the bag, or for whatever reason they want it. For me personally, I've never had a comfort bag. I think I had once like a Birkin kind of a bag, but it wasn't really giving Birkin because it was such a bad counterfeit bag, and this was like 12 or 13. Wait, how long is this ago? This is like 14 years back. It was in my very like Kim Kardashian era, where I saw her with the Birkin bag and I wanted a Birkin bag, and then I was in Florence and I came across this bag and then I pushed the bag. But the whole buckling in the front of the Birkin, the well-known Birkin bag, like the whole locking system, it had that, but the top bit of the bag wasn't giving Birkin, so I could kind of get away with it. Yeah, I could kind of get away with wearing the counterfeit Birkin bag back then. And also people back then, like because of social media wasn't really a thing, people didn't really know of the Birkin bags like that, so people didn't really think about it, I guess. No one really said anything to me when it came to like wearing that bag. But yeah, I was definitely delusional, and yeah, that was a whole different era. For people to buy counterfeit bags today, I don't judge it. I get it. Regardless if you don't want to spend the money on a designer bag, or you just like the bag for the design and you just know you're gonna be swapping out bags quite often. Of course, that's not very sustainable. We cannot control people, so people are gonna do whatever they want to do. But we're gonna be reading this article because I haven't read this article before, and then we're gonna be reading the comments from that post that I found on Instagram because people know of this man, and this man isn't just a typical regular fashion stylist. He's a stylist for the celebrities as well, which makes this even more wild. And I feel like there's gonna be some things in this article that's gonna have my jaw to the floor. So let's just get right into it. I don't know this newsletter, but I know that it was written in French, so I know it's that part of Canada where they speak a lot of French. So it says, this celebrity stylist sells counterfeit goods. A trader has been deceiving customers for more than 10 years by selling them second-hand luxury accessories described as authentic, but which turns out to be counterfeit, according to what the manufacturer has learned. I don't know who that is. But this is the man. I designed a Chanel bag for $4,500 that turns out to be worth very little. Behind the jet set image projected by a Canadian stylist lies a less glamorous reality. The sale of the counterfeit goods and getting a refund isn't easy for some customers. Then someone says, I kind of expected the result, probably false. Cites a woman on the phone who prefers to not reveal her identity for fear. Until very recently, she was a customer of the luxury resale boutique Cartier Leblanc, which has been a fixture in Montreal for 6 years. She bought 3 designer bags there in 3 years, a Gucci for $1,200, Chanel for $4,500, and a Louis Vuitton for $2,900. I think this is the bag. I don't understand why you would spend that much money on a bag like that, but that's a different thing. She had never suspected that these bags could be fake until she received the latest purchase, the Louis Vuitton. When I opened it, it smelled like chemicals, she noticed. Just to be sure, she consulted experts and had it authenticated by a company which confirmed her fear. A week or time to buy myself a luxury item I really wanted, then I ended up with a bag that in the end is maybe worth $20. That's the part I don't like about this, because these bags don't have any values. And also another thing is buying counterfeit is like, you can buy counterfeit, but you also really need to be careful from who you buy counterfeit from, because a lot of these people that sell counterfeit are also people that use that money for terrorism. There's a whole documentary about it, so that's also another thing that you really need to like rethink about. And I don't even know how you should go about it when it comes to buying from the right person, buying counterfeit. I have never done it before, so I wouldn't know. Then the article says, what about the other 2 bags purchased from the same merchant? The invoice led to the analysis by an independent expert by a digital method, both of whom concluded that they were fake, not an inventory error. The owner of the boutique where she bought the bags is Salam something, better known as Sammy the Stylist, a celebrity stylist. His clientele includes Carmen Electra and Amanda Smith from the Netflix series Selling Sunset. Holy shit. In a 2017 interview with CBC, he boasted an impressive track record. He claimed to have worked with Amy Schumer, Nick Carter, and Justin Bieber, among others. Information that Radio Canada was unable to confirm. But this whole thing of like, the thing is with counterfeit goods today, they are so good. Like, I remember that there's been like a whole thing on TikTok and other social media platforms about Wisteria Collective reselling counterfeit bags, and they have come forward and those like it slipped our noses that there were counterfeit bags. Counterfeit bags today are so good that you cannot always differentiate from the authentic one compared to the counterfeit one. So that does happen, and that's why you really need to be really careful where you purchase your like secondhand authentic bags and also counterfeit bags, because as I said, the people that sell them also use money to like do terrorism. So there's a lot shady business going on in this whole luxury world. But then the article says, on social media, Sammy the Stylist jet set lifestyle is followed by tens of thousands of people. He can be seen posting on red carpets, shopping in luxury boutiques, and dancing with singer Jennifer Lopez. But when the spotlights go off, it's a different story. The name Salem is familiar to American Diane Thompson, author of the blog Closet Full of Cash, about reselling luxury goods. This is Diane Thompson. She first heard about him in 2016 through one of her clients, who was in a state of shock after receiving the Chanel necklace she had purchased from his boutique. I knew immediately that it was fake. There was a letter missing from Made in Italy. Diane Thompson, author of the blog. However, the necklace came with a certificate of authenticity. Thompson recounted this client's story on her blog, and then other women recounted the same man. Then the blog has been following its trail from its Remix boutique in Toronto, which closed 10 years ago, to Snob Luxury in Montreal, which also closed, and now to Carte Blanc. Over the past 10 years, Diane Thompson estimates she has collected between 30 and 40 testimonies. That one of the reasons I keep my blog to warn people that this man exists and to show them what he does, is she emphasizes. Of all the stories she collected, one in particular made her throat tighten, that of a woman who spent approximately $14,000 of her mother's inheritance at a Carte Blanc on her dream Chanel bag. It too turned out to be fake. After the transaction, this woman was disillusioned, like several other clients of Mr. Musalam, with whom La Factory spoke. Intimidation in after-sales service. It is difficult to obtain a refund from Salem, even if with proof that the purchased designer accessory is counterfeit. Almost every time he maintains that the bag sold is authentic, sometimes with a certificate to back it up, produced sometimes by his own company, sometimes by a third party. Several customers were able to get a refund thanks to a chargeback request to the credit card company. This is the case with Jazz. The Balenciaga bag she bought from him for $1,300 in 2016, which was declared fake by 3 authentication companies, was finally refunded to her once the bag was returned. I think he was scared because I was ready to defend myself. But other customers we spoke to were not so fortunate. Faced with his refusal to reimburse them, several turned to online forums or social media to share the unfortunate experience, prompting a response from Mr. Musalam. That's when he escalated things with calls every 30 seconds, day and night, and all for a bag. He tells you, I will refund you, but only if you sign a letter forcing you to remain silent. We have to remove all our posts on social media and return the bag to him, she adds. That's how the customer whose bag was sold as a Chanel for approximately $14,000 was able to get her money back. This method surprised the intellectual property lawyer Francois LaRose. It seems a bit abusive to force people to sign confidential agreements. Why? To cover up the fact that the consumer has been wronged, to give us a chance to continue the counterfeit business. It's intimidation if you ask me. By selling counterfeit goods, Salem exposes himself to both civil and criminal prosecution, according to his lawyer. The counterfeiter could face up to 5 years in prison and a fine up to $1 million per infraction, he summarized. Many of the clients interviewed by La Factory contacted the authorities without much success. Often it's not a priority, explains lawyer Francois LaRose. These names, oh my god. The authorities are extremely busy and have limited resources. They cannot follow up on every case. The consumer protection officer is also well aware of the situation. He has received 6 complaints in the last 2 years regarding the Carte Blanche store. An independent contractor. The invoice contacted the Carte Blanche store, which assured them that the former management and some employees are no longer part of that organization, and that Salam is an independent contractor, but his name is still the only one registered in the Kuwait Business Register. The Carte Blanche team also stated their willingness to answer our question in the interest of transparency. The billing department then went to the store with an authentication device to analyze accessories on site. At first, an employee mentioned bags that were in the back room but said that they would not be visible. Several customers indicated they had bought comfort goods that were in the back room. After negotiations, the team agreed to have it back analyzed. The test on the Gucci bag was conclusive. It is authentic. Oh, so he has a whole system set up. Mr. Musalam, who was not present during our visit, did not respond to our messages. According to Mr. LaRose, this case could be of interest to major brands. He believes that rights holders could investigate or even intervene. According to him, nothing would prevent Mr. Musalam from resuming his activities elsewhere. In the whack-a-mole game sometimes seen at exhibitions, you hit one and it pops out of another hole. That's often what you see in counterfeiting cases. That is so sad. Imagine spending your inheritance money and spending $14,000 for a counterfeit Chanel bag. That's why I don't like this, because you never know what extent people go to get a hold of these bags. And this is just a great example of one of those situations where people will like go to extent to get a bag, a designer bag, and for them to find out it's fake is crazy. So this is the Instagram post I talked about that I came across, and the comment section is to a T. Someone wrote, I thought this was common knowledge. And then another one wrote, in 2010 he sold me fake Louis Vuitton glasses for $500. I commented, 10 years, try 17. And then another person comments, he sold to dozens of clients in Dallas as well. This was very common knowledge. Most rocking Firkins or Birkins in Dallas got it from him. It's 75% of the women in Highland Park Village wearing Love Shack fancy dresses, the fake Birkin and the Tory Burch flats. He was successful because most of the wealth his clients obtained was put entirely into giants' homes for status. Not much left over for the legit flaunting of genuine designer bags. This is when he came in for extra money capturing these desperate housewives. I worked at Fashionably Yours in 2009. This man chased me around the entire store threatening to kiss me. The store has a business license on the wall that says something and is ran by their daughter Janet Han. The store owner Janet forced him to apologize to me because I was going to file a complaint. And then another one wrote, laughing out loud, we knew. He even partnered with a consignment store named Carte Blanche at some point and still did that. And then someone wrote, wait, he made fun of my Louis Vuitton Speedy because it was canvas, not leather. My god. And then another one wrote, yep, he sold me a fake bag in 2014 for $3,400 and a fake YSL ring around the same time. So yeah, that was it for this video, guys. I am in shock that this man went to this extent to like sell counterfeit bags, and especially knowing that someone would pay $14,000 for a bag. And I think with this situation it's a little bit harder because he does have a client list and he has been like in the limelight as well, and he's worked with celebrities, so you would think that he has like credibility and all these things that would make you think that he's trustworthy. But this just shows you that even with that, you cannot really count on people not scamming you or the bags being authentic. And that's why you really need to rethink about where you buy your secondhand bag, because even with Wisteria Collective, they have had situation of selling counterfeit bags, so I don't even know where to buy them. I know that Farfetch and My Theresa and Essence, I don't know Essence does it, but those like luxury retailers that do that, I haven't heard of any of them being counterfeit bags, so maybe that's the place to go. But yeah, this is crazy. But for the people that watch a counterfeit bags and they just want to buy a counterfeit bag and they're buying it for the counterfeit price, just go for it. I'm definitely not against it because I don't see a reason why you should spend thousands and thousands on a designer bag and the quality is not even matching the price of the bag. And that's why this whole thing of luxury brands not selling as much and having to rebrand and figure out and what they have to offer has to be reinvented, and so that is very interesting as well. I do wonder if he knows Jen Shaft from the Real Housewives, because she wore a lot of counterfeit bags, so maybe that's one of her partners in crimes that we don't know of, because Canada is not that big. Yeah, that was it for this video. This is the slick cut. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.